Mary was a one-in-a-million beauty, but her son was incredibly ugly. Not only was he less than a meter tall, but his facial features were also extremely unattractive. Every Christmas, they would pack themselves into gift boxes, pretending to be presents. Tony happily brought the gift inside, unaware that a monster was hiding inside the box. After Tony fell asleep, the creature crawled out, opened the door for its companions, and they began wreaking havoc throughout the house. When Tony came downstairs to investigate the noise, he was startled to discover 3 inhuman creatures that looked neither fully human nor ghost-like. He quickly ran back to get his phone and called the police, but it was too late. The dwarf monster grabbed Tony's legs and dragged him back to the living room. By the time the police arrived, the dwarf monsters had vanished, leaving only the living room in ruins. The observant Sheriff Nick noticed that the gift had been opened from the inside, and there were half-eaten cake crumbs on the floor. Nick visited the injured Tony at the hospital, who had been severely beaten by the 3 dwarves. Upon seeing the police, Tony immediately revealed the truth. Nick learned that these creatures were dwarf monsters from Grimm's fairy tales. These monsters loved eating cake and randomly selected a house to vandalize each Christmas. Surprisingly, their mother was apparently a mermaid. Not long after, the dwarf monsters caused trouble again, but were spotted by Nick, who happened to be passing by. 2 of them fled at the sight of the police car, while the 3rd was still stealing items from the rooftop. When he saw Nick, he hastily threw away the doll in his hands, lost his balance, and fell. The dwarf monster didn't surrender, but instead began attacking Nick. Fortunately, Little Black was hiding behind the wall and knocked the dwarf out with a bottle. The 2 then took the dwarf monster to Wolf. When the dwarf regained consciousness and tried to escape, Nick knocked him out with a punch. To prevent further escape attempts, they injected him with 2 pounds of anesthetic and locked him in a cage. Nick asked Wolf how to restore the dwarf monsters to their original form. Wolf explained that they only become active on Christmas Eve, love cream cakes, and would permanently return to human form if they were lured out with cake and allowed to sleep for one night. Nick spent his entire day's salary buying out a whole cake shop. He parked a truck filled with cream at the front door of the house and arranged cakes in a line leading to the dwarf monster's home. Soon enough, the dwarf monsters took the bait and followed the cake trail into the cream truck. Wolf quickly locked the door, trapping all 3 inside. Now they just had to wait one night to see the results. Early the next morning, everyone anxiously gathered in front of the truck, wondering if the dwarf monsters would return to normal. When the doors opened, it was revealed that the dwarf monsters had eaten all the cake and transformed back to their original appearance.